Hello, big persons. Like I said, this is a message for big people, so your little people are probably not going to be very interested in it. Um, Today, I want to talk about it's okay to let things go. But before I do that, I just want to thank you for everything that you're doing in raising up these little babes. You're so important, so thank you so very much. So it's okay to let things go, particularly in a time like this, to let some of those expectations of yourself go. Um, yeah, so let's just talk about that for a little bit. I have some collections. I collect little art, eggs. I collect fairies. One could probably say that I collect bracelets. I also collect guilt. Who knows, for whatever reason, perhaps maybe it's some of those high expectations I have of myself, um, I collect it. So what I find that I have to do is just pause at some points and try to let go of some of that guilt. So I just want to share some of that with you today. So guilt, here it is, this stuff that just kind of sits on your shoulders and kind of wraps around and becomes very smothering. And because I collect it, I find that it just piles up and piles up, and it just really it just chokes you, right? It just freezes you, and it really affects um, relationships and your connection with folks out there. So kind of some of the things that I do once in a while is just kind of freeze and just think about some of that guilt. um, so you just think about it kind of like wrapped right around here, and what I kind of do is sort of peel some of that away and kind of try and make it sort of like a balance on my shoulders here, so that I can continue to go forward and do what I do. So let's look at something kind of small, like you threw something in the garbage that could have gone into the recycling. So let's just like peel that little piece right there. So here's that little bit of guilt there. And like I said, we can let some of this stuff go. So we can just peel that right off and just let it go. Just watch it fly away. Something maybe a little more is I gave my kids Cheerios for dinner, so can take that little piece of guilt there and just go, oh, okay, you know what, this is tough times right now, and I just pulled it together enough to give my kids some cereal for their dinner. Maybe that was all that I had in the cupboards. Maybe I haven't had a chance to get to the store. Maybe I don't have any money to get some of that stuff. But the big thing is, why you can let this go is you got your kids fed. You sourced out food. Take it, just let it go. um, I screamed at my kids today. How many of you haven't done that? So take that piece of guilt there, and here it is. I yelled at my kids. Um, that is a manageable piece of guilt, right? So I'm going to take a little piece of that, and I'm going to let some of that go, and then I'm going to take another piece of that, and I'm going to go, this is workable guilt. This is something that I can maybe just put over in this shoulder, and I can maybe apologize to my babe for yelling, um, or to another big person, right? So that's manageable guilt. And guilt is not like people think guilt, just get rid of it. It's a useless emotion, but I don't really feel that way. I think that guilt makes us honest. It makes us integral. So some of it that we hang on to because it makes us want to be better. Um, and of course, an awful lot of it, we can just let it go. So that's what I do, like just kind of peel away pieces and just let some of it go when I start to feel really overwhelmed with that. So it sort of becomes more of a balancing. So I take that manageable guilt and I sort of move it over to this shoulder so it's not so big and wrapped around. And if you go layer down to that bottom stuff, right? That really deep kind of guilt. That's something where I can chat to a trusted friend about it. And let's be real, some of that guilt that's sitting on there, that's for a professional. So I can save some of that guilt and I can talk to a professional about that. And like I said, guilt is not, yeah, it's not all bad. Some of it is manageable. Some of it we can just let it go. Um, yeah, and it just really means that you're a good parent, right? Because you care so much. So it just means that you're a good parent hanging on to this guilt. But like I said, when it gets to be too much, it just doesn't feel good, and it can affect our connection with other folks. So I hope that makes sense to you. Just kind of, peel apart those layers and just physically even, let it go. Say bye-bye to it. So hopefully maybe that helps. And thank you so much for joining me today. I know that you're crazy busy and lots of things to do, so I really appreciate you spending a little bit of time hanging out with me. And again, thank you so much for caring for these babes and bringing up these babes, bringing up our villages. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye now.